What if your underwear mattered more than your skincare routine? In this episode of the Dean's List, I sit down with Deanne Buck, CEO of Branwyn, a mission-led merino wool brand reimagining performance wear for women, starting with what's closest to our skin. We explore the hidden toxicity in our underwear drawers, greenwashing and wellness, and how Deanne's leadership draws from mountain climbing, legal strategy, and real-world trust. From ethical sourcing to company culture, this conversation is about building well from the inside out, literally and figuratively. And if you believe the how behind what we wear and create matters, please subscribe, tap the bell to never miss an episode of the Dean's List. Please enjoy. I'm Allison Dean. I've scaled companies, led global teams, and I'm a lifelong student of well-being. And yes, motherhood is part of that curriculum. After years partnering with visionary leaders, I know the future belongs to those who create with care. Welcome to the Dean's List. More than a podcast, this is a community of thoughtful founders, creative minds, and conscious consumers. If that's you, congratulations, you're already on the list. Welcome to the Dean's List, where we explore the art of building well. I'm your host, Allison Dean, and today's guest leads with grit, vision, and a sense of purpose you can actually feel. Yes, you can. Deanne Buck is the CEO of Branwyn, the merino wool performance brand, changing the way women feel in their most essential layer. Yes, it is. With roots in law and a past life on the mountains, Deanne brings a whole new definition to performance, one that's rooted in care, consciousness, and the refusal to compromise. We'll get into greenwashing, leadership lessons from the climb, and why your underwear might matter more than your skincare routine. Dare I say it? Dare I say it? Hello, Deanne.
Hi, you said it.
I said it. I did. It's a bold statement, and part of me thinks it's worth saying. Anyway, I feel like that really segues us well into why should we be more skeptical of what our underwear is made from?
That's a great question. I think part of it is we should maybe be skeptical about every product we bring into our life.
Agree.
And you're correct in that our underwear is in hormonal areas for women. And I feel like I never gave a second thought to my underwear until I started at Branwyn. And for one, it's hormonal areas. And so a lot of times underwear is made out of nylon and polyester, and those have BPA and PFAs that we know can leak into our skin. And there's a lot of research coming up about that. So that's one reason why it's important. And then the other reason is some companies will actually fix or wash their garments before they ship out in formaldehyde. And so with anything we get, we need to make sure we wash it before we wear it. And then in addition to all of that, just what is the performance part of our underwear? And I don't think we think about that, especially true underwear, like down there underwear.
Yep.
When we work out, when we sweat, when we're really active, we create moisture. And if we're not wearing a natural fiber, then it's not breathing. And so what happens is all that moisture gets trapped inside, and women can have UTIs and yeast infections. And so it's another reason to really think about natural fibers. Cotton's great. Wool is even better, especially if you're working out.
The wool for working out. You said a couple things just now that I think we also should expand on slightly, because when we're working out and our pores are opening, if we're wearing synthetics, that also means that our body is absorbing more of these terrible chemicals and other things that our body really should not be absorbing. So hence causing some of the things that you mentioned. That's one thing. But I also think, because I've fallen victim to this too, where I will not name the companies, but I was a very loyal customer of a subscription undies company. And they used, it was seemingly innocent because it was some kind of a plant-based material, but very elusive in the sense of not a lot of information related to how the material is sourced, and then the processing of said material in terms of the chemical concentration in the fabrics, et cetera, right? There's a lot to be said for simplicity when it comes to the fabrics that are touching our sensitive areas, to your point. So yes, I do think we all need to be mindful of this. I definitely like the wool. I'm on the train of, okay, it's a slow roll to acquire a full new wool undie wardrobe. So you just, but goals. Anyway,
Yes.
All right. So Branwyn, like we said, it's merino wool underwear. So what do you think people get wrong about wool? Because I feel like I certainly have had some of these thoughts that you're about to say out loud. But how has that shaped Branwyn's marketing or how you tell the story to potential consumers?
That's a great question. And so I think there's a couple of things to unpack with what you just talked about and then also your question about wool. So one thing is that the way that we construct our garments is called seamless. And so this is different from pretty much anyone else on the market. And we were the first to do this. So basically, if you think about the shirts we're wearing, somebody created a fabric and then they sewed it together. Mm-hmm. So when we make seamless, we actually create the fabric at the same time the garment is being made.
Wow.
And what that does is it means that there's no seams in it. It comes out in a tube. And so we have to use a little bit of nylon and a little bit of spandex in ours to keep them together. Mm-hmm. But the wool is spun around those so that those nylon and spandex will never touch your skin.
Oh.
And so then if you look at other wool underwear and it's 100% wool, what that means is it doesn't have any recovery. Mm-hmm. And the way that they keep it on, even though they don't claim the elastic as part of the underwear, there's elastic.
Right.
So it's not 100% wool because there's actually elastic holding it up. And so that's a big difference with what we have. And so for us, one of the things that we do is we get certified every year. So there's a Oeko-Tex 100, which means that it's safe to wear next to a baby's skin. So we get that certification every year. We get Woolmark certification. And we'll talk a little bit more about all the certifications, but there are things that people can look for in their products if they're next to skin. And the Oeko-Tex 100 is a great certification to look for.
Yes. Amen. I think for me, I naturally was one of those people that immediately went to wool. I'll be sweaty.
Itchy.
Or itchy. Yeah. Either one. Like where I'm just like, oh, but that's not true.
That's not true. So one is merino wool is the type of wool that we use. There's a sheep and there's only so many merino sheep in the world. And they're known for super thin and very fine hair. And so it's finer than our hair. And so that's the kind of wool that we use. That's why it's not itchy.
Okay.
It also has a crimp in it. The way that it's made, it's an active fiber because it comes off an animal. So it has a crimp in it. And what that crimp does is it actually is thermoregulating. So typically wool is used to keep you warm in the winter, but it also has the opposite effect in that it keeps you cool in the summer.
So amazing. So given this amazing material, do you feel like you've needed to somehow educate the consumers a bit about this in your marketing? It's so weird, the things that you get fed on Instagram. Like all of a sudden now I'll get tons of Branwyn happening, but it hasn't really been a part of my feed. So yeah, how have you had to navigate marketing this information to people?
Well, a couple of ways. One is we lean into it. So is it itchy? Or I thought wool would be itchy because that pulls people in and they're curious and they think, yeah, I thought it was actually itchy.
Right.
And then we talk a lot about wool for summer. And when we think this would be our slow time of year because we're in the middle of summer, but people actually use wool to go swimming.
Oh.
And so if you're out hiking and you see a river and you just want to jump in, then you jump in and it dries quickly and you go on your way. So it's really a wonderful fiber for all year round. And we lean into it. And then the other thing that we also leaned into was if you Google base layer.
Okay.
What do you think of when you think of base layer?
Probably like not underwear in a way. I would think of like the first layer if you're going to go into like the snow, like some kind of like a thermal or something like that, right?
And what's your first layer though?
My bra?
Bingo. When the base layer concept was met, it was really for men.
Oh.
That's the first layer that they put on. It's next to skin. But for us, it's a bra.
Yeah.
And underwear. And so we really like lean into it's the ultimate base layer.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but if I'm wearing a synthetic running bra and I go out in the winter and I run, or I get really hot and I come inside, I just freeze. It's clammy. But if I'm wearing a Branwyn, I can go out, I can come in and it regulates and I'm on my merry way.
I feel like I haven't worn a synthetic one in quite some time. So I haven't had this happen, which is good. Mm-hmm. But I feel like many other people that are watching or listening are like, oh, I need to understand this. Mm-hmm. And so you can buy a Branwyn. I want to talk more about the certifications because this is something on your website that I had not seen before, but ZQ certified wool. I don't know that I know what that is and why I think consumers should care about that.
There's a couple of reasons to care about the ethical treatment of animals when it comes to the byproduct of the wool we buy.
Okay.
There's one, just how the animals are treated and what we want to participate in our consumerism.
Yep.
RWS is probably the minimal that everyone should look for when they're looking for wool certification.
Okay.
And if their wool is not RWS, that's responsible wool certified, I would really push consumers to push the companies to achieve that.
Okay.
And so that means that there's a certain level of dignity and care that are given to the animals. Yep. And then ZQ is the next level up, and it's the New Zealand Wool Company. They have a collective of farmers, and they all agreed to meet this certification level, and they have 5 freedoms. So it's like freedom of not being thirsty and not being hungry, and freedom of movement, and freedom of care. Mm-hmm. And so that's the one that we employ.
Love it.
There's that reason.
Yeah.
And then if we think about our hair.
Yeah.
And how if you're stressed, if you haven't been eating right, name anything, and all of a sudden my hair is like kind of brittly or falling apart, or same thing is true for wool. And so when we use the wool, we get the best wool. It's the finest. It's the most consistent. It's not damaged because the sheep aren't stressed. They lead a really good life. They're happy. Then one of the things ZQ has also done, which we haven't participated in yet, is they have a traceability. So you can actually meet the sheep.
That's so cute.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
That's kind of cute. I'm wearing Alf or whatever.
Exactly.
I don't know, right.
Exactly. You could be like, thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thanks for grazing. Thanks for going up the mountain.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's charming. I like that. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about greenwashing, because I feel like that's something that we see in the wellness fashion space. Is there one claim that you see often that really just makes you go, ugh?
I was thinking about this, and I think this is the one thing that Branwyn does. And so I'll just turn it back on that.
Okay.
In that we're super transparent.
Right.
We sent out our bras to get tested for BPA and PFAS, and it came back and we didn't have them. And so we sent out the report, and then one of our customers came in and said, yeah, but you didn't test for this, this, and this. And we said, you're right. We didn't. Thank you. We will next year. I don't know about you, but I take everyone's claim with a grain of salt. And so I think it's really around looking deeper.
Yes.
And one of the ways, a shorthand way, is to look for certifications.
Right.
Because we can't do it all. Like Branwyn can't go out and raise a sheep and then escort it. So we rely on our partners and their transparency and their commitments. And so that's what we look for when we look for partnerships. And so I would say, as we're moving into the journey of sustainability even more and more and more, and it's becoming more important in every aspect of our life, to really look at the transparency of the company. What are they saying? But then what's behind that?
Yes. I mean, I feel like all companies need to be leaning more into that in general. Because I think consumers, maybe not all consumers, but I feel like there's a growing population of consumers that do want to see that want to feel like the companies are like talking the talk, walking the walk, all those various things. And it's not just smoke and mirrors. I think it is important.
For us, the pain points for us are nylon and spandex.
Oh.
And so there's biodegradable spandex that's available.
Okay.
And there's now recycled nylon. There's not bio-based nylon.
Okay.
So wool, if we have 100% wool product, it's biodegradable.
Right.
You can put it in the earth. And so if you tried to bury our underwear and you came out and looked at it, there would still be the nylon and the spandex.
Right.
But we have a product that everyone loves. So we're always weighing introducing this material with, do we compromise fit? Do we compromise quality? And so while we're actively pursuing it, which we are, to incorporate it,
right,
we also need to weigh the fact that, as one person said who works for the textile exchange, your product lasts a really long time. Like, full stop, that's sustainable.
Yeah.
Can you get more sustainable? Absolutely. But that's an open conversation. If I sat here and said, oh, yeah, we're 100% biodegradable, I would be lying.
Right. Well, I do think in the realms of greenwashing, transparency or owning your stuff matters, because I do think that there's a lot of companies out there that just kind of say things or they'll paint a picture. But I see this a lot actually with supplement companies. I was just on a website the other day for electrolytes, and I was like trying to go deeper on a few things. And it's like, I couldn't. You can only see the ingredients if you like take a screenshot or something, And it's like, nope, won't be a customer. No. That is not transparency to me. Is there anything that's you think the most radical about Branwyn that maybe someone like me never notices as a customer?
So our vision statement is a regenerative and thriving planet led equally by women.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things that we do behind the scenes is we are always looking for, how do we support all women and always. Meet women where they are. Don't add adjectives. And then trust that when they feel fully supported, whether it's by like amazing underwear.
Yeah, right.
Which is where we come in.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Exactly. That we can step more naturally into our most fulfilling lives. And that through that, if women were equally leading this world, we believe that climate change wouldn't necessarily exist.
Oh.
Because you get a diversity of leadership, a diversity of perspectives.
Right.
Most people don't realize that.
Most people don't lean into sort of like the mission statement and just like everything about the core of the company itself. Yeah. Okay. I don't know that I knew that. So yeah, that's also helpful for me. Yeah. Like good info.
That's one reason why people will tell us you could expand and grow so much if you just had a men's line.
What are your thoughts on that?
No. Because we're talking bras and underwear. The reviews that people send us are so intimate.
Yes.
And so this space is not for men.
Okay. I mean, I know that there's probably a few companies now out there for the wool men's underwear.
Correct.
But the men need to be protecting their things too.
I had a friend who went down that road with me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's important. It's also important to take the cell phones out of our pockets on top of the not wearing our, right? No, I know. Okay. Well, speaking of cell phones in our pockets, what does wellness mean to you, Deanne?
Oh boy. It's really all around starting with ourselves and understanding what our needs are, and when we are at capacity and how we re-regulate ourselves and our nervous system.
Yep.
I think wellness is pretty foundational to like being able to contribute to the people around me, to my family, to my friends, and to my work.
Well said. What are Deanne's daily non-negotiables when it comes to wellness? Things that help you stay grounded, given that you're running a company and running a company means things are going. What helps you keep it moving?
One of the things, I love moving. I love being
Uh-huh.
outside. And so for me, like getting up and getting a run in or going to the gym, that happens pretty much every day without even a thought.
Mm.
I would say that helps orient me throughout the day.
Okay.
And feeds me, gives me energy. I love my tea. It's like a nurturing, but also like it does have caffeine, so that helps.
Okay.
I think really like just little reminders throughout the day to do things like stand up.
Yes. You can inject that into the whole office environment, really, you know? I
Exactly.
actually think I did that at one of my companies, or at least I think we attempted it, where at some point during the day, there was like a dance break or something. Yeah. It was a while ago, Deanne. So I'm like, this is now exercising memory that
Yes.
I don't know. But it was a cool thing. It was another like warehouse type environment. So it was like, the crew in the warehouse environment, everyone would just dance for a song. I think these are good things to do. Just like,
I think so
change
too.
a pace. Keep it moving. All right. That could be another Branwyn bumper sticker or something.
Exactly. So one thing I also started doing is I moved to Bend, Oregon
Yes.
3 years ago.
Beautiful.
And I lived in Boulder before that. And when I live in places like that, I try to live as close to the trails or the river as I can. And so I live a block from the river.
Oh.
And I've never lived in a town that has a big river in it. And everything revolves around the Deschutes River in Bend.
Uh-huh.
And so now once a day, I'll just go out for 15 minutes and get in the river, hang out, watch the kids play, feel the sunshine.
I feel like that's very therapeutic. And also it can kind of reorient a bad day. If things aren't going well, it's like the river can just wash it off of you.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like wellness is also like being able to step outside and see the bigger picture of the world.
Amen to that. Yes, indeed. Okay. Is there something that you refuse to compromise on, even if it were to mean that growth might slow down or profits may slow down? I mean, given the fact that you just spoke on transparency being a really big deal, what is something that you won't compromise on?
There's a couple things. One is our commitment to sustainability. We launched these leggings. They're seamless compressive leggings, and they're the first on the market.
Cool.
With the content of wool. And so there's no place for us to put a hang tag.
Oh.
We're like, we cannot put a plastic. We could just interject a little plastic thing in there and it'd be done. This has taken months for us. So I will say, like, we have that commitment. Everything that we look at, everything that we do, we want to make sure that we're moving towards the better side of the world.
I'm trying to think of how my bras were delivered. Like, yeah, there's no tags on them.
They were in a glycine bag.
Yeah, right. So same for the pants. Right. No problem. See, it's solved. So yeah, no biggie.
Exactly. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, we talked about it a little bit, but making seamless is really hard.
Yeah.
This is your bra.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So this is the band.
Uh-huh.
And then this just came out of the machine. It's called a Santoni seamless machine.
Wow.
It's 2-ply. And so the pattern of the bra is like on here.
Uh-huh.
This is, I think, a medium. And then it goes from there and gets dyed.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And this is how much it shrinks.
Whoa. Okay.
So it's hard because the sheep are different. Like one year they have a lot of water. So the wool is different every year. And then the dyeing on black is different than the dyeing on light nude.
Right.
That's why when you go to our website, we have people order the same color and the same size.
Uh-huh.
Because we have tolerances and everyone is within tolerance.
Right.
But they can come out different. And because it's seamless, it'll give to your body. So whatever difference there might be in the beginning usually just resolves itself pretty quickly.
Right.
But if you're holding them up next to each other, you're like, that's a different size. And no, it's not a different size.
No.
So I just say that's hard. And so it's not like something we're not willing to compromise on, but we're going there and we're staying there. And that's our main product line. And we're developing even more. And so
Right.
that's our commitment, is to like craft manufacturing. And there's a couple of ways we may be able to get around this, but we don't overproduce. Like, we're not going to produce a lot. And so sometimes we run out of stock.
Yeah, you did, of that purple color that I really wanted. Yes, it's true. That one was good. I was like, that is a cool color, Deanne.
I know. We might have to bring it back.
Yeah, right. I keep seeing it. It's like a tease every time I go on the website. I'm like, they still have it. There's a photo of it there. I want that one. No.
We're coming out with a new color next year. So
yeah, because I feel like you guys are ripe for like a burgundy too, or something. Like something, I don't know. All right, well, I can guess. Okay, you mentioned this a little bit, but I want to talk about the team culture that Branwyn is about, especially given, the fact that you really need a happy team if you're doing the work that you're doing. Sustainability, transparency, creating a very beautiful product that has so much story behind it, really. So let's talk about team culture, like what you're doing at Branwyn to keep everyone feeling well.
I think one thing is we trust everyone.
That's good.
And it doesn't mean that everyone doesn't have room to grow.
Right.
Myself included.
Yeah.
We always orient towards something bigger than ourselves, which is Branwyn.
Okay.
And we have this in our calls all the time when we're together as a team. We talk about like being here to serve something bigger than ourselves.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that the individual needs aren't important. However, they're situated within this bigger organization. And I think sometimes, like, I used to be cynical when I'd be like working for the man. It's livelihoods. Like, there are livelihoods that are relying on all of us around the world.
That's right.
And so we take that very seriously. And we also orient towards the community. So one thing that we do in our weekly meetings is we bring in reviews.
Okay.
And we read the reviews that women have shared with us about the impact that Branwyn has had in their lives.
Okay.
And so that keeps us reorienting towards that.
Yeah.
So that's like the foundation for everything we do. And everyone's here for that reason.
And for being able to have access to really good underwear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So besides doing testimonial meetings where you can all kind of come together with that, are there any other team building type things? Because I mean, work is still work. So are there any other things that you do that kind of support the whole wellness dynamic?
One is we're remote. So people are all over the world.
Cool.
And so it really is around most everyone who works for and with Branwyn, because we have a lot of agencies and partners.
Yeah.
Loves being outdoors.
Yes.
And so there's very much an encouragement around that.
Yeah.
And if somebody does duck out of work early, we high five them.
It's like
mostly because we know everyone's working super hard. It's just celebrating and supporting the choices that people make in their lives.
I don't know why, but my brain immediately went to reporting on people doing ropes courses all over the world kind of a thing, and giving their time scores, like it's like a nature oriented remote work first environment. That's where my brain went for a second. Okay. That's what happens.
We do have like a good news channel on Slack. And so everyone's encouraged to put in their good news, celebrate it.
We like the good news. You were a lawyer, which is awesome, because I think lawyers as CEOs is a very helpful thing, and a mountain climber before doing this. So what did the law and the mountains teach you about leadership that perhaps business school could never teach you?
I don't think law taught me anything.
Really?
About leadership. And I never really went to business school. I took a business school class. I would say climbing gets used as a metaphor for leadership a lot.
Okay.
Partly because you're on a rope with someone. It's life or death.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then if you're doing expeditions and you're a leader, you have to figure out how to manage a lot of different people and egos and needs
Mm-hmm.
to get them up the mountain safely.
Right.
I didn't do that, but I did climb with people. I would say leadership is like such an interesting topic
Yes.
because there's leading a company, there's leading people, there's leading yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing myself
Uh-huh.
is the most important part of any leadership.
Okay.
Because if I'm out climbing with someone
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know where my weakness is,
Oh, yeah.
I could kill them.
Yeah.
And if I don't fully own that, and if I don't try to strengthen that,
Right.
then that's like the weakness of the team.
Yeah.
And so I don't think leadership is anything that can be learned in a book.
Uh-huh.
I think leadership is learned by doing.
Yes.
I led a company, an organization before this.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the areas where I felt like I had the most opportunity to grow
Okay.
was really in how to bring a vision to everyone
Mm-hmm.
so that they felt part of it, and then really understand how to support them
Mm-hmm.
in their stepping into their strengths
Mm-hmm.
and able to contribute to it. That's really hard. For some people, it might not be. But I think there's like the ends and the means.
Yes.
And one is you have to be able to articulate the ends so
Yeah.
everyone can get into it. And if I can't articulate the ends, then I'm just going to control everyone's means.
Uh-huh.
So there's that ability to be able to articulate and envision, like, where is it we actually want to go?
Yeah.
And then working with myself first and then everyone else around, what are the skills that I have that can contribute to that? Where are the places where I actually need support?
Right.
What are their skills and their experience that can get there? Where are the areas where maybe they don't have the experience, but they have the aptitude, and how do I support them in that?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I did is I took an executive leadership course
Uh-huh.
from a company called Telios because I didn't want that to get in the way of my contribution to the world, whatever that might be.
Right.
And so now it happens to be stewarding a company.
Mm-hmm.
And those skills are definitely what I need in
Yep.
order to be able to steward that.
Yes.
I think leadership is really around like looking at ourselves first
Yes.
and understanding our patterns, our history, where we're getting in our own way, when we're unskillful,
Yeah.
and really leaning into that.
Do you think that most mountain climbers could lead a company?
No.
Okay. Okay. I do think it's an interesting metaphor, though, for running companies in terms of like the means and the ends kind of a thing. Because truly, with a mountain, the goal is to get up the mountain, right? I feel like there's probably a lot of parallels with setting goals for a business to like climbing a mountain. But yeah, to your point, perhaps, yeah. I have a cousin actually who's a very impressive climber. Next time I see him, I should go, do you think you can run a company? And I wonder what
Well,
he would
there's
say.
this super interesting statistic. We work with an organization called Play Like a Girl.
Uh-huh.
The statistic is wild. It's
Okay.
like 95% of all women in executive positions played sports.
Oh.
So I think there's something around sports.
Competition.
I don't think we want to put the burden on women that you have to play sports in order to be a leader, because
No.
we don't put that burden on boys.
Right.
I do think, though, the way that girls get socialized in our culture,
Mm-hmm.
they receive more of the leadership skills that are necessary to like be in executive positions
Yeah.
when they're in sports. Whereas boys get those leadership skills in all aspects of their enculturation.
Oh, that's interesting. A team sport can certainly lend itself to understanding how to work together, work as a team, make quick judgments as needed. There's probably like a lot of that. Yes, that's an interesting statistic. Is there an unexpected business challenge that you've had to solve at Branwyn, and like how did perhaps the legal background or the climbing background navigate that challenge?
One of the things that's really fascinating is we're direct to consumer only.
Yeah.
And so we're not on Amazon, which is nothing against Amazon. When you go on Amazon, though, you lose the ability to connect directly with your
That's right.
community.
Yep.
And then if we went into retail shops and did wholesale, we'd also lose that ability.
Mhm.
And so we get to hear directly from our customers and community.
Yeah.
However, it's hard in that we're asking our partner at ZQ
Mm-hmm.
to raise so many sheep in 2027
Okay.
for the wool we think we might use.
Okay.
And we're ordering product today for Q2.
Right.
And so we don't know, are people still going to continue to find us? Are we still going to grow? Are we going to run out? Do we overbuy? That's probably like the biggest challenge.
So how did legal background help you with that? Or how did the climbing background help you sort of navigate that issue?
I think there's a couple of things. One is, as a business,
Yep.
you're either this, or you're this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And your strategies can be different.
Yeah. Huh?
Probably the legal and a little bit of the climbing both are around, when do you stay the course
Uh-huh.
and know that there are just ups and downs?
Uh-huh.
When do we say like, oh shit, we got to change something. This isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
Probably more climbing than anything. If you're climbing and you're in the mountains and the weather's coming and you're halfway up a climb, you have to decide, like, is it safer to go up? Is it safer to go down? Is this going to pass over? What's the risk?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's always that like weighing of moving forward, staying, moving back.
Don't want to get caught in that weird weather. Yeah, that's interesting. You have a different calibration point than others, Deanne, because of all that. You're able to navigate these things more cool-headed than others. Okay, what's something that you've changed your mind about since you joined the company? Are there things that you decided to keep when you joined versus evolve or change that were already existing?
This is a really interesting question. I think there's like the personal side and then there's the business side, and they actually intertwine a little bit.
Okay.
So when I joined, I was brought on as the president of the company, and the CEO was a co-founder, him and his wife, and he was the one who was leading as the CEO. His name is Jeff. And so being a president of a company, everyone's like, oh, that's just like being the CEO. And it's not. It's really around absorbing his vision for the company and understanding why we were doing things the way we were.
Okay.
And I think anyone who comes in probably is like, I can make it better. I can do this and make it better.
Right.
I mean, we were the 109th fastest growing company in America last year.
Wow.
So there wasn't a lot of better to be done. My job was really to learn his vision and the systems and what was working.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, wanting to contribute, there was this tension for myself of, oh, that's good enough that I just come to a meeting and I listen and I learn and I don't have to do. So I would say like that was probably the biggest learning for me. Was conceptually, I could understand that stepping into the role.
Right.
And there was always the understanding that I would be stepping into the CEO role. That was what I was brought in to do.
Okay.
And so I think for me, having a founder who entrusts somebody that he met in order to hand over everything, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
The thing that I was able to bring to the company is a little bit more of a voice, a perspective, an orientation that was seated in the outdoor, in leadership. The vision of what we wanted,
right,
I embodied.
Yes.
Jeff would say that all the time. That's the thing that I've been able to contribute.
Okay.
A little bit more refinement on some things that maybe no one would ever notice externally.
Right. The subtle, but the major, because the subtle can be major. Okay, you talked a bit about your testimonial meetings. Let's dig into some of that a little bit. So, if a brand's success is measured by how a woman feels in their products, how do you know that you're winning at Branwyn?
We have so many women who, I'm 73, and it's the first time I like my bra.
Oh, that's major.
We have women who are post-surgery mastectomies.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
it's the only bras they can wear because it doesn't have pressure points.
Oh.
It's amazing. One woman, this one made me laugh. She bought a thong. She's like, I hate thongs, but I had to buy one, whatever. And I was out working all day and I got home and I literally forgot I had it on. So I started peeing and realized I was still wearing my underwear. And so we have ones that are just hilarious. They're so funny.
So comfortable you might pee in it. That's how comfortable it is. That's a good ad right there. That's a good ad. Not to encourage you peeing in your underwear, but it does show you that it's comfy. Wow.
We have over 7,300 5-star reviews.
Yes. I don't know that I've written one, but I certainly tell all my friends. I'm like, it's the only bra you need.
I mean, people are so funny. One woman's like, Braleluya. I finally found it.
Braleluya. That could be a t-shirt for you guys. Braleluya. Just like write it right on the bust.
Yes.
Okay. What do we get wrong when we think about empowering women through products?
I think empower is a tricky word. Because I feel like women don't need to be empowered.
Okay.
But then I do think, like, I've been in the outdoor industry for like 25 years.
Okay.
And they used to say shrink and pink. Women's clothing was men's clothing, but just made smaller.
Okay.
And made pink.
Okay.
And then there's also been that women's products are a derivative of men's. Hence the base layer concept. Yeah. This doesn't happen now, but it used to be that if a women's company specifically for women was founded, they would not have access to the most technical gear, to the most technical fabric.
Okay.
That was saved for the men and the women's was less than. And so I think to really think about the fact that there is merino wool bras and underwear, which are actually super healthy for us and then help us perform better because we temperature regulate, to really think that that's made just for women. That's like revolutionary. I would never personally say like our product gives power to a woman.
Right. Yeah.
I do think though that it really sees her for who she is and that she has needs that are unique.
Your power is intrinsic to you.
What are your thoughts on that?
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, I do agree with you that we should feel like we don't need things to make us powerful. We should feel the power within us. I do think it's harder for some as compared to others to own what I just said. You know what I mean? So in that respect, I think there are still women who may struggle a bit with needing external things to make them feel powerful. I think the goal should be, what's that show, like Naked and Afraid? You know, just get out there and just run through a forest and feel powerful, right? What advice would you give to someone who wants to build a mission-led brand or business, but they don't know where to start?
I think there's a couple of ways to start. One is to see where you're bringing your mission into your everyday life. So that it's not something that you're trying to create that's out there, but that you're cultivating it all the time. The other thing is really know who you are and know what your skills are, because my job previous to this is I worked with entrepreneurs in Central Oregon and ran the Ben Venture Conference. And so saw a lot of startup companies. And one of the biggest characteristics of a successful startup company is that people were doing things well within their lane and they were bringing in other people to complement them. So there's usually two people and one person had the skills, the mad skills, that you weren't outsourcing that. Kind of goes back to the leadership conversation. Like, know who you are, know what your contribution is. Make sure that you're cultivating the mission that you're trying to bring into the world in every aspect of your life so that it's not this huge leap, because statistically, a lot of companies fail.
Right.
Or they're not successful. I won't say they fail, because even starting a company is a success.
That's right.
Because you're diving into something that gives you passion and you're learning. And so that's probably the other thing, is just start somewhere and know that it might take 3 or 4 iterations, and that everyone has those before they succeed, and that labeling them failures versus learning lessons, I would stay away from that too.
I like that. It's not a failure if you learn something.
Exactly.
All right. We're going to do something that I'm calling extra credit. This is just a rapid fire, first thing that comes to mind kind of a thing. Shouldn't be too hard. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Oh, early bird.
I would have guessed that. What tea, caffeinated tea, do you drink?
English breakfast with a spritz of blackcurrant.
Oh, that's kind of fancy. Okay.
Delicious.
Okay. What's one word to describe how your favorite Branwyn bra makes you feel?
Huggable.
Huggable. I like it. Okay. Favorite music genre?
I love jazz.
Jazz. Okay.
I'm not listening to jazz while I run, but if I was going to a concert and I could be like third row and just watch the jazz ensemble, like,
you're into it.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But when you're running,
it's hip hop. It's like Beyonce, Jay-Z, all that.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is there a book that significantly shaped how you view life or business or your own intuition?
There was one that I read. So there's The Art of War.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Which is not that book.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there's a book that is like the interpretation of the art of war.
Uh-huh. That
and
one.
It talks about like how we have like ideas, thoughts, frameworks, beliefs. And I think a lot of times we all get stuck in like this thought without examining like what's the framework that's supporting that thought.
Right.
And so when I think about like thinking and changing my mind, which I feel like that's the goal of life, is to be wrong and change your mind as much as you can.
Uh-huh.
I really like that. And then Pema Chodron, who's a Buddhist monk, she has all these books, and she has one where she talks about your comfort level, your uncomfort level, and then your oh shit level, and how we always need to like try to push into our comfort. But when you get into your oh shit level, go back to comfort.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to send me a link to that one.
Okay.
Okay. What's one word you would use to describe your business journey?
Unplanned.
Okay. What's a brand you admire that's not in fashion or wellness?
I was going to say my friend Branwyn. I mean, I don't know if she's fashion, but
jewelry, kinda. But okay, we can let that pass. Okay, so tell us about Branwyn.
So she's a really good friend of mine, and I've watched her build this incredible brand with heart and soul and craftspeople here in Bend and integrity.
What's one thing every founder or CEO should do before checking their email?
I feel like probably there's 10 things you should do before you check your email.
Okay.
Get out of bed. Make your tea, journal.
Okay. Many things before email. If you weren't building Branwyn, what would you be doing instead?
Painting.
Oh, this is a whole new Instagram account for Deanne. I love it. Painting. Okay, amazing. Well, you survived that round. Is there anything that I did not ask you that you were hoping we would discuss?
I don't think so.
No, we did it. All right. So then share all the ways people can find you or find Branwyn and purchase their undergarment collection.
Well, they can find Branwyn at branwyn.com. And I'm pretty much on LinkedIn.
Are all the socials just Branwyn or?
Branwyn Official.
Branwyn Official. Okay. So on Instagram, TikTok,
Facebook.
Okay.
A little bit of LinkedIn.
Yeah,
no
I know.
Snapchat. No Threads.
No, yeah, same for me.
No Twitter.
No, I know. It's too many things, Deanne. Deanne, thanks so much for being on the Dean's List.
Oh my gosh, thank you. This has been really fun.
Good. Well, that's the hope. Every time I'm like, let's just make it fun. Let's make it a convo. Let's talk about some undies. Thank you for watching this episode of the Dean's List, where we explore the art of building well. If you enjoyed this conversation, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend who'd love it too. I appreciate it. If you prefer to listen on the go, you'll find the full audio version wherever you get your podcasts. This community is all about building businesses and lives that feel good, and we'd love to have you along for the journey. I'm Allison Dean. I'll see you in the next one.